McKinsey Consulting did a very in-depth study on decarbonization and what is the cost going to be. This was a report that was over 1,000 pages, and the executive summary was 66 pages. The cost to our society currently is about $3 trillion, and each year this cost is escalating. We truly have to be looking at what is the impact of the carbon society and how are we going to change our behavior and move away from our dependency on fossil fuel. This is not about elimination, but about transition. And as we look at decarbonization, there are going to be winners and there are going to be losers. And so we have to start to look and say, how do we innovate? What are going to be the commitments that have to be made? Who makes those innovations? Who funds those innovations? Because each day we do not act, there is a growing cost. And if we wait 20 or 30 years, decarbonization could be costing our economy about $10 billion per year globally. So it is imperative that we start to act now. And so we look to government and we look to the governance that can come from legislation to say, how do we move this economy forward? But we truly have to look to the private sector, because the private sector is where so much innovation takes place, where so much entrepreneurial spirit exists. And so I believe that if we're going to get to what I call P1, P1 will equal our other three Ps, P2, P3, P4. So what is P1? P1 is our purpose. P2 is what is the impact on our planet. And P4 is what is our impact on our people. So P2, P3, P4, purpose, planet, and people. When we get that combination right in understanding the implications of climate, and when we apply this to business, that success is what I would call our P1, our profit. We have to know the true cost of what does it take to generate the types of profits that we need into the future. It cannot be at the expense of our society, our people, and it cannot be at the impact of future generations because of its impact on our environment. So I'm challenging you. Think about your actions. Think about the world you want to live in and the world that your children and your grandchildren and great-grandchildren will grow up in. As this climate becomes warmer, as things change, we have to adapt. I am a sailor. I am forced to live by the conditions of the ocean. I cannot say, hey, storm, all stop, I am not ready for you. I have to shorten my sails, trim my sails to the course I've got to steer to avoid the worst of the storms I can survive and navigate around those challenges. Climate impact is telling us that we have to shorten our sails and decarbonize. We have to change our course by how we think of the economy. We think in terms of GDP, gross domestic product, which is about consumption, but we can't consume our way out of this carbon challenge. We have to start respecting our resources and work within our budget. We have a carbon budget on this planet. Let us not waste another day. Let us start to truly dig down to find the solutions, to believe that there are going to be barriers that must be overcome. But it's up to us to find the way to overcome that through our attitude, through our actions, through our relationships, and through our accountability.